We're now looking at our next unit, which is 8.4, animation and video editing. So before we move on with animation, let's have a look at our knowledge recall of information we should already know. What is important about your login details? Then you need to answer what is an animation, what does HTML stand for, and then give 2 HTML tags. So you can pause the video while you answer these questions. Hopefully these are the answers you've given. So never give out your login details. That's what is important about your login details. An animation is a moving image, or moving images put together to make it look like it's all moving. HTML stands for hypertext markup language, and some HTML tags that you could have used are title or head, or B for bold, or P for paragraph. You could also have IMG SRC for image source. You can have anything to do with a table, and T, I for italic. There's lots of different ones in there. Ahref, which is a hyperlink. So any of those HTML tags are absolutely fine in there. So let's move on with the knowledge that you need for this unit. What we have here are the key terms that you need to be aware of. So video editing, arrangement of images, videos, sound and text made into a professional video. Ones we're looking at today are import, to open a file in a program. It could be different file formats, file types, the way a file is stored on a computer file. It allows the file to run in certain programs. Eventually we're going to be exporting our animation today, so that's saving files in a format that could be used by other programs. And we're making animation, which a computer animation is creating moving images. We'll also look at the color wheel or a swatch, so it's picking a color from an object when it's selected, and we'll use that today as well. So lots of information that you need to be aware of. So moving on, what we're doing in this unit, you are going to be creating stuff using an animation package and also a video package. You're going to look at different file types, and then you are going to create a final product using the skills that you've learnt. So in today's lesson, you're going to create an animation. You're going to use some animation techniques and tools. I'm going to show you those first. And then you're going to create a simple animation, which is text and images just animated together. So we're going to animate your name today using letters, and you can add a background color and change the timings of your animation, speed it up or slow it down. And keywords here are import and audience. I'm going to look at those later. So you do need to add to your ePortfolio as you progress through the lesson. And at the end, you'll put a slide in to show your animation. A few questions that you need to answer for your ePortfolio is: what is an animation? What is a video? What are file types? And can you name any file types? So you can pause the video while you complete those questions in your ePortfolio. Okay, we're going to move on with our animation, and to create our animation we're going to use a bit of software called Serif Draw Plus X6, and we're going to then use keyframe animation. When we open up Serif, we'll have a choice of how we want our animation to look, the size and style of it, and you can create or choose one from here, and then you can set things like the size and the color. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm just going to open up Serif Draw Plus X6 so we can see what's going on. File, and then we're just going to create a new animation, and I'm going to use a keyframe animation. So just hopefully this is going to load up. So I've clicked new, and then I'm just choosing from the menu, the drop down menu. Once I've clicked new, just going to choose new keyframe animation. So select that. So it's loading it up. As I said before, it is painfully slow, but we'll be patient with it. So it's set up a keyframe animation. The things I'm looking out for here is down the bottom I have this storyboard. That shows that I'm in an animation setup, so that's absolutely fine. That's what I want to see. At the moment, the shape and size of my animation is wrong. So I can just go to change that in my settings. So again, I've clicked File, and I've got Page Setup. And in the Page Setup, I've got a few things here. One, the width. I'm just going to change the width to 200 pixels wide, and I'm going to change my height to 80. And here I can change the background color of my animation. We're using the color wheel. I'm just going to turn this round. I'm going to choose this kind of greeny blue color here and click OK. So now I've got the size and the color, size, shape and color that I want for my animation. So that's the first stage. The next stage is I'm going to add in some text. So I've just gone to the letter A here, Artistic Text tool, and I can just drag a little tiny box, and I'm just going to put in the start of M for Mr. Lucas. You can put your name in here, and I'm just going to move this down just to the bottom using the move tool, just to here, exactly where I want it. You can change the size, the color, anything that you want to, or you might leave that for your actual animation. So that's the first part in. I've got my first letter, and I'm going to animate mine by just adding in a letter at a time. So what I'm now going to do is click Insert down here in the storyboard. I'm just going to insert, and that's going to insert a new keyframe. So I just want to insert one at a time. So I've clicked OK, and my second keyframe has now appeared here. So in this one, I've got the letter M already. It's copied what was there from the previous keyframe. But what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to use the Select tool. I'm going to click it so it's selected, and if I hold down Control on my keyboard, that's the key right in the bottom left of a keyboard, I can hold down Control and I can just drag out that letter just to the side. That's cloned my previous letter that I selected and dragged, and then I can just click on the A, and from here I can just delete and put in the letter R. So I've now got M and R in there for Mr. And what I'm now going to do, just going back to the black arrow, so that's the Select tool, I can now click off this and insert a new keyframe, click OK. So this time I'm just going to put in, after the Mr, I'm just going to clone the letter R now. So again, I click the R. I can hold down Control and just drag that out so it's copying the format of my letter. I'm just going to move it where I want it and let go. And go back to the letter A. What I've now done is selected my A, deleted, and put a full stop. So that's the Mr bit. And I can carry on repeating this by inserting new keyframes, more keyframes, and I can write the rest of my name across here. So you can pause the video while you complete this, and when we resume the video, the rest of my name should be complete. So now you should have completed most of your name. You've animated that. If we look back at the PowerPoint, you've used a rectangle tool. You might have coloured in the background if you didn't set the colour of the canvas already, using the colour wheel. You've put in letters of your name, and you've animated that to build up the whole word as it is. Now what we need to do is test what we've done. We can preview our work to see how it looks. I'm going to show you how to do that now. And what we can do to preview it, if we look at our work in Serif, you can easily just click File, and there is Preview in Flash Player. And what that'll do is bring up a little animation of your work. You can see my work here is being animated very slowly. It seems to have paused. Let's click the, there we go, the play button, and that will pause as it goes through. Is it going to play it? Mine seems to be very slow when my PowerPoint is running at the same time. So it will play it in there and you'll be able to see what's going on. Now I notice on mine that it waits for a long time at the end. I'm just going to stop the preview but you'll be able to test yours out to see how it works. I'm just going to close my preview. It's not actually responding. And I just felt that I needed to keep a bit of animation at the end of mine, so I'm just actually going to insert another slide right at the end so my name stays on for longer. And what you can do to your animation is you can then take this a stage further. So you can copy the frames, you can get your letters moving up, changing colour, growing in size, and so on. I'll leave that to your imagination how you want to develop your animation further and create that and make that look better. But you can test it as you go along. The other thing you can do to your animation is you can insert an image. Now you can either insert an image that you've already got saved, or you can just go to the gallery. It might be hidden, so you might already have styles up, but you can click on gallery and just choose something from the gallery to add in to your work. So I'm just gonna bring in a frog, double click that and put an image into my work that I can then animate. And I could create an animation where the frog moves across the screen. So that's what you're doing there. My computer is going very slow while it's running the video software and the PowerPoint at the same time. But that will do that. It's still not responding. Sarah seems to have a problem, but it should work absolutely fine in school. The other thing you can then do is we might want to export our video. Just waiting for mine to catch up. Now exporting a video means we can save the file, save the work to be used in other programs or how else we want to be using it. So what I'm going to do to export it is I can click File. I'm actually just going to stop my PowerPoint, I think, to help it. Let's pause the PowerPoint. So you can save the work to your ePortfolio. So all I'm going to do here is click File and Export. And there's different things we can export it as. You can export it as a Flash Shockwave file, but as this animation is created in Draw Plus, I find one of the best ways to export this is as a picture. So I can choose picture, and then I've got a choice here in the format, and I'm going to change it to an animated GIF and click Export. And what that will do is save the work in my documents. I can save that as an animated GIF. So I'm just going to call mine name GIF.gif. So you can save that. And then what you can do is when you play that, if you go to your documents, you should be able to go to your GIF. I'm just going to my documents now, finding the GIF that I've just saved. So name GIF. By opening that up, what it should do, if I just move it to here, it will play your GIF for you, and you can check that it works. And you can then import this animation into any other piece of work that you've got, onto a web page you might have made or another document. So that's what you need to do to your work there. I'm just going to close Serif so I can go back to my PowerPoint, if it will let me close it. And you can go to your ePortfolio and show the evidence of your animation in your ePortfolio. You might even be able to insert the GIF that you've saved onto a slide in your ePortfolio so it'll work. So you can print screen your animation and explain what you've done. Now there's a couple other things you need to be aware of. One of those is frame speed, and in your animation properties you can change this information, and we've got it looping continuously. We want our animation to carry on looping round. Or you can explain how long you want your frame to display for. So you've got that information. You can speed it up or slow it down if you find it's not right. So you need to explain in your ePortfolio what frames are used for. Remember, we created the frames at the bottom of our animation. And then what is exporting and importing? You need to explain what those terms mean, and we've done that today. So I've already shown you how to add an image into your animation. You can use the gallery. And you then can develop your animation to make it more suitable for your audience. So your audience is going to be an animation about your local area. So you can create something to make it more suitable for the people who are going to be viewing that. So remember, keep adding to your ePortfolio and export your final animation. Do save your work as you progress and submit your work so your teacher can view it.